I am the comms coordinator for HCA, and I've been here for about a year. I used to actually come to the centre when I was younger. My mum used to take me when I was baby. In 1989, I'm actually the same age as HCA, so they opened the same age as that I was born. I take my daughters there sometimes, and I live locally, and I work there. So I remember coming to Holborn House when it was actually called Bedford House, and someone had a Menti party there, and I remember attending when I was a little girl.
I've lived in the area for 31 years, in the Holborn area, literally not far from Holborn Station. My son grew up in this area. Where I live, the neighbours are really friendly. You've got the postman and the road sweeper and the sandwich man, and they all kind of know you by name, which is quite nice. And even if you don't want to know what's going on, somebody will tell you, did you hear what happened? And it's just, the community is quite small actually, where we live. You wouldn't believe there's so many people tucked away in all these different buildings and everything, because most of what you see looks like businesses, but some of them are actually accommodation. So yeah.
I brought today a bowl, it's like a dish, that when I first moved here, I moved here with my son, who was 4, nearly 5. And we moved into, it's a really old building that was knocked down and rebuilt. You know, it was nice living in a new building, but there was something about it that felt a bit wrong because it didn't have those established sort of unwritten rules or, you know, sort of neighbours that have lived there for a long time that can tell you what's what when you move somewhere. And Holborn Community Association put on a pottery class specifically for the residents of our block. And I went along with my son, who was, I think he was 5 by then. And we had, I think it was just in 1 or 2 sessions, because I think this is, it's not glazed, it's slip. Slip is like a liquid clay that's coloured. But I just remember it was a really, was a really special thing. It felt like, you know, the first sort of community-minded thing that we'd done when we first moved here. So I found it today. It's really kind of old. I think I had a plant in it at one point, and it's kind of, but it's, you know, so it's kind of looking a bit old and battered. It's about 17 years old now. I really like how the slip has gone all kind of crackled inside. And yeah, it was the first time I felt like, okay, I feel comfortable. We've moved here and I feel like this is somewhere that we can live. So that's my object that reminds me of Holborn and Holborn Community Association.
Well, I suppose it's the heart of the area, really, isn't it? So, I mean, now, technically, it's not really, because they're all trendy, expensive shops that you can't shop in. But when we were younger, there used to be the greengrocers, the butchers, the laundrette, the newsagent, all the cafes and things. So I think, to me, it's just the centre of Holborn. It's busier now, I would say, because obviously when we were younger, shops and things didn't open. And when you tell people you live in Holborn, they always say, well, you can't, it's just offices. So years ago, it was a lot of offices. So at the weekends, it was very quiet, whereas now it's just busy all the time. A lot of the community shops and things have gone as well, which, you know, which would be good for local people. I don't think all the new restaurants and cafes are necessarily aimed at local people. I mean, Coramsfield still looks the same. The fish and chip shop's been there forever on Theobald's Road. That's not changed. The pub's changed name quite a few times, but it's still there. So it's not really changed too much. I mean, there used to be a Wimpy. There used to be a Wimpy and a Safeways.
It was
Yeah, I mean, before Waitrose, I was saying that you obviously had the Safeway. We never really had we still don't really have a big supermarket as such. You know, like if you go slightly further out, there's big supermarkets. We do struggle with that. But I remember when Waitrose opened, it was like, wow, we've actually got somewhere we can go and buy food. I think I had small children at the time. There was nowhere around here to buy nappies or baby food until Waitrose opened.